Hi guys, I'm Vicky. I will be your trainer for today, and today we're going to go through a posterior chain workout. The goal is we're going to focus on back exercises, glute exercises to get you feeling strong, confident inside a gym, and just make you look sick physique-wise. So I've been a coach for about 8 years now, and I honestly believe that if I get you feeling as confident as possible and empowering you through the education of the exercises, you're going to enter a gym feeling so good. A once intimidating space, you're just going to absolutely smash it. This workout today, I've tested, I've tried, it's so good, so that's why I'm gonna take you guys through it. My online coaching girls absolutely love this one. I call it the hourglass figure workout because we wanna build a nice sculpted back. We wanna make the illusion of a teeny tiny waist and then build your glutes, so it does give you that gorgeous hourglass figure. Okay, we're gonna get started with a dynamic warm-up. So the goal is we're gonna loosen up your joints, get your body feeling nice and warm, and get some blood to the muscles. Let's go. Are you sure? Cool. So our first exercise of this workout is going to be a Romanian deadlift, also known as an RDL. Now the whole point is that we're going to work on a hinge pattern from our hips. We're going to stretch our hamstrings and our glutes and then contract them as we're standing. Now, yes, it's primarily a leg exercise, but we're actually going to really focus on our posture, so keeping our shoulders back, keeping our upper back engaged to keep that lovely posture. So it's part of our hourglass routine. You're going to absolutely love it. So getting onto the bar, I always start with it as a raised level. So the difference between a conventional deadlift and a Romanian deadlift is we've just reduced the range slightly, and this one's going to target your glutes a little bit more. Here, feet are going to stay at hip width apart, toes pointed forward. We're going to hold onto the bar, and I'll keep them about shoulder width apart. So kind of where your arm just naturally hangs to the floor, you're going to let that hold on to and keep it parallel. So stepping back, again, feet hip width apart. Draw those shoulders back. Now you'll notice how my ribs want to poke out. I'm going to tuck those ribs down and in. So here, bracing my core, squeezing my shoulder blades together. I'm going to push my bum back behind me and graze the bar down the front of my legs. When I come back up, I'm squeezing my glutes, and then same again. Now a good thing to think about when you're doing this exercise is imagine you're trying to close a car door with your bum. So I'm gonna really send my bum and my hips back behind me. I've got that hinge in my hips. My weight is through the heels of my feet, and then I draw back up. It's just a warm up. What we'll do is we're actually going to do 4 sets, so 4 working sets at a heavier weight. When we're talking about intensity, I want you to focus on an RPE scale. Now RPE means rate of perceived exertion. On a difficulty scale of 10, you're going to work at a 7 out of 10 in difficulty. Meaning if 10 was really difficult and you're really struggling to get the reps, and 0 was lying down on the floor, it's going to feel like a 7 out of 10. To start with, we're going to do some warm-up sets where we start with just the barbell, 8 to 10 reps, getting used to the movement, checking your form, and then we will develop it up, maybe do another 1 or 2 sets with additional weight, and we're building up to that working set. So you're going to have about 2 to 3 warm-up sets and then 4 working sets. Let's go. This is going to be my warm-up set. The bar's 20 kilograms. I've added 15 each side, so it should be about 50 kilograms in total. Again, feet hip width apart, draw those shoulders back, brace that core, graze the front of your legs, make sure that bar does not leave contact of the legs. Oh, it's very hot in here. Okay, catch my breath. So I've done my 2 warm-up sets. I'm now gonna go to my working weight. So I've got 80 kilograms on the barbell. Now, because I wanna work my legs primarily, and I wanna avoid the limitation of my grip, so I don't want my grip to slip, I'm gonna use these things called lifting straps. I'll do another video on it as well. But the whole concept is that this will be wrapped around the bar, and then every time I lift, it's gonna be pulling on my wrist here, which is safe and it's fine, but it just means that it won't slip out of my fingers and slip out of my grip. Really, really clever. I really recommend them. So, this is gonna be my first working set. And remember, I'm doing 4 sets in total to get that hypertrophy, that muscle gain in my body. Lovely. Okay, so I've done my 4 sets at 8, which was great. It feels like the first 2 sets was like a 7 out of 10 in difficulty. And then as I progress and I get a bit more fatigued, I'm resting for about 90 seconds between each set. It's now gone to an 8 out of 10, which is exactly what I want, a sweet spot of your training. We're now gonna focus on a back exercise, and we're gonna do a high pull exercise, so a vertical pull, where we're taking the weight from here and bringing it down, focusing on targeting this muscle from that vertical position. So for this vertical pull, I've decided a half kneeling. So we're gonna be kneeling on one knee with a cable. Now I've set this just above my head. How you do this is you pull this pin out and let it slide and click into the place that you need. I've got a single hand attachment here. And the reason we're doing single-sided is just so that we can really have a focus on bringing that one elbow down towards the hip. It's not gonna reach the hip, but it's just having that mentality, that mind to muscle connection, and feeling this shoulder blade go across the body. So feeling it pull and go down. Working on your lats, which is this muscle, is gonna give you that nice defined look. It's gonna build your back. Now I say build, don't freak out, but it's gonna define, sculpt, structure that back so that if you've got a little bit of a bigger back, it does give the illusion of that smaller waist. Also, just being strong as fuck is slay. I'm gonna test the exercise. What I wanna do is make sure that I'm in this half kneeling position, I have a little bit of a hinge forward. And like I said, I'm gonna row, pull this into my chest, into my ribs, the elbow's going towards the hip, this shoulder blade's coming across the body as much as I can, and then drive back up. A couple of reps one side just to test. And I'm gonna change feet, change arm, same again. And the same intensity, I'm gonna work on that rate of perceived exertion, that RPE of about 7 out of 10. That felt like a 5 or 6, so I'm gonna increase the weight and see how it goes. For this movement, I want you to try 8 to 10 reps per side and then have a good 60, 90-second rest before your next set. Great. So just finished on the high pull, back is feeling good. I'm gonna go into a split squat. So basically a single leg exercise. I'm gonna have a bigger focus on glutes by just hinging more at the hips. I'm gonna try about 3 sets of this one, 8 to 10 reps. Yeah, I've got some sick tips to help you really engage your glutes instead of your quads, because sometimes we just feel that massive burn in the front of our legs. But just like some few tweaks, and you're gonna get that posterior chain. Again, back, glutes, galore. So with a split squat, the whole goal is we're working one side at a time. Now, if I was to use my right leg first, this is the movement. We're gonna have a nice long stride, and when you bend down with both legs, you're gonna have a 90-degree angle in both legs. The back knee is gonna kiss the floor and then come straight back up. So don't bang it on the floor, don't rest on the floor. It's a little tap and then back up. Now, a lot of people do feel the back quad working, and if this is you, listen up. So here, my back quad is working more. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a tiny, tiny hinge in my hips forward, and notice how in that position I've stretched my glute a little bit more. This means it's gonna work more. From here, I'm actually gonna take the weight out of my toes, put most of the weight in my heels. Again, small hinge, hitting that front foot, drive back up. Also, another factor, if it's too much in that back foot, take the weight out of that foot, put more in this front foot, down and up. Now, if we add a weight, I'm actually gonna add the weight on the inside hand. So this leg's working, I'm gonna hold it in the opposing hand. Just like, gives you a bit of space. Both hips are gonna point forward. Small hinge, weight in that front heel, squeeze on purpose as you come up. Now, changing sides, exact same thing. You might notice that one side's stronger than the other. If that is the case, just have a bigger focus on form, because when you get tired or you're a little bit weaker in that one side, we tend to find ways of cheating. Body will use that quad more. We want to make sure everything's aligned in the process. Again, working at that 7 out of 10 difficulty. Last one. Whew. And then see how that goes. Great, so 3 rounds of this one done, 8 to 10 reps of each. You'll notice that the previous exercise was single arm and this one was single leg. They take a little bit longer because obviously you've got to do double the amount of reps per side. Just take your time, have that 90-second rest, have that breather, have a drink, have a sit down, but really focus on that RPE. Remember, towards the end of those sets, it's gonna feel like an 8 out of 10. It's gonna feel difficult, but that's where the stimulus in the muscle happens, okay? Where you reach that tiredness, that fatigue. That's where you're gonna progress for the next week moving forward. Next exercise, we're gonna focus on another upper body exercise. We're gonna do, well, since we did a vertical pull for that last one, we're now gonna do as a horizontal pull. So it works and targets very similar muscles, or the same muscles. We're just hitting it from a different angle, so therefore helping maximum growth. Cool, let's go to the cables machine, and we're gonna do a cables low row. Okay, you can tell I'm a sweaty gal, so we're nearly the end of this workout. I've got 2 more exercises. We're gonna do a horizontal row. It's called a low row or a machine low row. Now, even if you don't have cables or it's not available, you can find the machines where it's just simply pulling from, like you're pulling the weight towards your body, and in the process, you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, we're gonna keep this at 3 sets. I want you to focus on a 10 to 12 rep range. I'm actually gonna write all of this in the description so you can follow it along yourself. But yeah, similar to the other one, we're still gonna draw that elbow towards that hip, and this is gonna be a little bit easier for you to feel that back because we're gonna squeeze those shoulder blades together, opening up that chest. But then also notice that when I squeeze those shoulder blades, my ribs wanna pop out, and this means that my core is not engaged as much as it could be. So we're gonna bring that back, but also tap this in, tense my core, and you're gonna hear that change in my voice because I'm trying to tense. So that's kind of what I want you to aim for today. I've got a neutral grip, which means that my palms are gonna be facing each other. Are you good? Do you want to change? Are you happy? So I've got a neutral grip, which means my hands are going to be facing each other. Sitting back, squeeze the bench between my knees, draw those shoulders back, tuck those ribs in, draw elbows towards hips, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then forward. Notice how slow and controlled I'm doing this. We're going to try and get rid of any type of momentum. You don't want to be swinging backwards and forwards. That's just not going to target the muscle properly. Elbows towards hips, and then forward. 10 to 12 reps, and then have that 90-second rest in between. Squeeze that core. Cool. I actually felt like that was about a 6 out of 10 difficulty, so I'm gonna treat that one as a warm-up set. I'm gonna increase the weight, and then I'm gonna do my 3 working sets from that increased weight. So don't be so strict with like, oh, well that one only felt like a 5 out of 10, but that's gonna be set 1. Listen to the body, challenge yourself, because remember, you're literally only here for you. You're doing this for you. It's time to actually put in that energy. On the 3rd set, you're gonna feel that stimulus. It's gonna feel tricky. Let's try it. Okay, love that one. It's one of my favorite exercises. 3 sets done. I'm now gonna go on to my final little sneaky little finisher that I love doing on a glute day. It's gonna be a sumo squat, but we're actually gonna elevate my feet off the floor. Now, sumo squat is basically gonna be feet, well, like a squat stance, which is kind of usually shoulder width apart. Sumo means that we're gonna go wider than shoulder width. We're gonna take that really long stride out. Now, squatting down, send my knees over the toes, get nice and low. Now, normally we're holding a weight, the weight will have to stop, or like the movement has to stop because the floor gets in the way. If my feet are elevated, it just allows us to get a little bit deeper, use that muscle more. Remember that stretching of that muscle, stretching of the glute, just means we can target it better. I'm actually gonna do a higher rep range than usual, maybe like a 12 to 15 to burn the glutes out, target the legs at an angle that we haven't done before, because if you think about it, with this hinge pattern here, our feet were hip width apart. For the split squat, feet were hip width apart. But this time we're going wide, we're going sumo, we're taking that knee away from the midpoint of the body, we're gonna target the glute medius up here instead of just the glute max. Woo. I've grabbed 2 thick plates and I've put them underneath my feet. You have the option to use plates or steps, or if there's a raised surface in your gym, as long as there's a hollow bit between your legs, and that just means the weight's gonna slip down into that hole. For this positioning, it's really common and easy for people to round their shoulders as they're doing it. I want you to have a big focus on drawing those shoulders back, get rid of the hunchback, and keep those shoulder blades squeezed like you did with that row machine as you're doing the exercise. When you stand up, I want you to pinch those glutes together as much as you can. I want you to think, a common phrase that I say that all my clients are gonna laugh at is, imagine you're picking up a pencil between your bum cheeks and then you drop the pencil and you've got to pick it back up again. That's the goal here. Okay, so from here, remember, we're gonna keep those shoulders back, knees over toes, drive up, squeeze the glutes together and down. Now notice we're gonna go quite nice and slowly with these. We're not gonna race through them. And we're doing that higher rep range, 12 to 15, to get that pump. We're sending blood to the muscles, and it's gonna get nice and juicy to finish the workout. Whew. Okay, sick. You've done your 3 sets of the sumo squats. That is 5 exercises, combining glute exercises, single leg exercises, single arm back exercises, the works, and it's gonna be the perfect starter workout for you working on your back and your glutes and that beautiful hourglass figure. My clients absolutely thrive off these workouts. We do something called a body recomposition, where we basically reduce excess fat, increase muscle, and they feel so confident, not just in their body, but in the gym, in what they do, in the exercises. They are hitting personal bests at the moment. I had a client hit a 90-kilogram deadlift the other day, even though she's never trained in the gym before the beginning of this year. So if you love this workout, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be doing these weekly if I can. And yeah, get in touch if you want any additional help. Not the tongue.